This bitch took a picture of my credit card. What is up, y'all? It's your girl Zoe here. So today's story time is about my crazy roommate. Y'all, I don't think y'all ready for this. So grab your snack, grab your wine, grab your soda. All of y'all gonna need it. So let's just start from the beginning. So I went to school around August, but I didn't get my dorm until around October area. So I was put on the wait list because there was a little bit of issues going on with me getting into school. Application was on hold. It was a hot mess, but we arrived.
Success!
So I asked one of my close friends, oh, can I stay with y'all until I get my name off the dorm list? They're like, yeah. They were really laid back. I love them to this day. They're amazing. I waited there at their house, got a phone call and an email. Hey, your dorm is ready. Whenever you're ready, come pick up your key and you know, we can get started. So I got my key. I go to the office to sign off the papers and, you know, make sure everything's good on their part and mine. And then I go over to the dorm just to check it out, see what's going on over there. So the way the dorms were set up, it was a old building and it was a new building. So the old building is the original building where they had students live, and then the new building was a newly renovated building, and they also started moving students in there. So the way it was set up, the school would rent out apartments in the building for students to live in. So we were sharing the apartment with, you know, elderly people. We were sharing it with families. So it was a mixture. I was praying that I got the key to the new building, and I did. It was much smaller than the original building. So the gym was smaller, the hallways were smaller. The other building was a goddamn maze. Like, it was, you would get lost if you did not know where you were going. I get to the apartment, I knock on the door, and I realize it is one of the girls that I went to school with in high school. I didn't know her that well. She didn't know me that well. We just see each other in the hallway, you know, passing by. And she was like, oh, you're Zoe, right? I kind of forgot her name, so she was like, oh, I am, let's call her Lola. So I'm like, oh, it feels so good to see a face that I know. Because, you know, usually when you get in a dorm, you don't know the person, you know the people in that dorm. You have to get to know each other, and it's a whole process. But I kind of already knew her, or I knew of her, so it wasn't really a stranger. It was more of an acquaintance. She shows me around, and she's like, well, welcome. The way the apartment was set up, you would walk in, the kitchen was right to your left, and then there was like a little area. It was a chill area. It almost, y'all know Scooby-Doo, like when they made it to real life. It looked like the little area they had, the chill area. It wasn't that big, but it was like the small version of that. And then if you go down and there's a hallway, it was one room. The first room was 2 girls, and then the second room was 3 girls. And I was one of those 3 girls that was going to be living, or one of the girls that was going to be living in there. Bathroom in the hallway, and there was a bathroom in the second room. So you had to go through the closet to get to the bathroom. She kind of fills me in on everything that happened in the dorm. So, yo, like, there's a girl here before you, and she told me her name. I was like, oh, I remember her. Oh yeah, you know her too, right? Cool. That was one of my friends that I was in like a little bit of a circle with. We kind of had like a little like confrontation, like we had a little bit of problems. So she grabbed her stuff and she left. So that's your spot. The bed to the left, like, this other girl's stuff. I'm like, okay, so who is she? Like, she's like, oh, her name is blah blah blah. So I'm not gonna give her a name. And then she showed me the bathroom, all that type of stuff. It was a very like chill little area. It was just her at the time, and in that one room. The next room, that's where, let's call her Amanda. Amanda was so sweet. Her in her room, I introduced myself. I was like, hey, I'm Zoe. I'm about to be the new roomie in the next room with Lola. She's like, oh, okay, nice to meet you. Did you get the tour? And I'm like, yeah, I got it, thanks. And she was like, okay, let me know if you have any questions. I'm a sophomore, so, you know, I know pretty much a few things about the campus. Okay, cool, thank you. I leave to go back to my friend's place that I was originally staying at, fill them in on everything. 2 weeks pass by. I go pick up my stuff from my parents' house and I move into the dorm. I think Lil was at work or something, So after I settled in, my mom, you know, did her little thing. She was like, oh my god, I'm so excited. My mom left sooner or later, and let's call her Brittany. Brittany is, the entire story is about Brittany. Amanda is like, so I'm gonna fill you in on Brittany. Brittany kind of has a taking other people's stuff issue. It kind of happens repeatedly. Well, I'll keep an eye out, but I don't judge people. If I hear something about you, I make you be on the lookout, but I'm not gonna be like, good morning. Not you. You can choke. I don't know you. I've never met her yet. Plus, I believe in giving people chances. Give me your first impression, and then, you know, go from there. We'll go from there. About a week goes by, and Brittany, one thing about Brittany that Amanda told me is that Brittany is never really around. Like, she'll come around maybe like a week or once a week or once every 2 weeks, but it's not like, you know, she doesn't stay there. She just has her stuff here, and whenever she has class, she'll spend the night if she feels like it. So I'm like, okay, waste of space, but okay, none of my business. About a week after that goes by, and I see a girl in Amanda's room. I'm thinking it's one of Amanda's friends, or I'm thinking it's one of Lola's friends, so I'm not saying anything, like, whatever. I was in Amanda's bathroom because Lola was in our bathroom. She let me curl my hair in her bathroom. The girl walks in and she's like, hi. I'm like, hey. And she's like, I'm Brittany, nice to meet you. I'm like, hi, I'm Zoe. I heard a lot about you. Help yourself, you know, have fun, all that type of stuff. I'm like, thank you. And she starts looking at my hair products, and she's like, oh, where'd you get this? It smells good. I'm like, oh, it's a holding spray. A little chit chat, and then she left again. And that was my first impression of her. She was really laid back. I did kind of a vibe from her, but I wasn't picky at it. Like, everybody has a vibe. It's just them. Another week or two go by, and this was after Halloween, so it was November, and I get text messages on my phone. So the dorm I stayed in, we all had like a little group chat, so we could let each other know, like, hey, your package came in the mail, or hey, somebody left flowers on, or something like that. Lola and I, since we're like right like this to each other, I'm laying down in bed and I feel my phone like vibrating like crazy, and I hear hers vibrating too, and she's asleep. So I just look at the chat, because your girl don't be following up on chats, okay? I don't be in the group chat like 24/7. So if something's going down in the group chat, I'm not gonna look at it till like later on. But this one seemed like so damn urgent. It scrolls to the top, and I read through, and Amanda and Brittany are going at each other. Bye. Bye. Lola, wake up. Check the group chat. Amanda and Brittany are going at it. So she immediately jumps up. She did it again. I was like, did what again? And I was scrolling through, and it said that Brittany had apparently went through Amanda's stuff. Did I lie? Did I lie? Did I fucking lie? Amanda was like, bitch, don't touch my stuff. Like, don't come over here. A few weeks go by, and the group chat goes off again. And this time is Lola. Lola is throwing words at Brittany. Like, you went through my shit. Go buy your own shit. Don't touch my lotion. Don't touch my soap. You going through people's rooms. Nobody's here. You sneaky bitch. And I was like, I hope she didn't go through my shit. I kept my stuff on lockdown. So I had like a little suitcase. I put all of my important stuff in there. If you touch my PS4, if you touch my laptop, if you touch the things you do not touch, that box right there, do not touch this stuff. Cool. A few weeks later, I believe I was in the living room. I was playing some video game or something. I just remember being hungry as hell. So I was like, you know, let me take a break from the game. Let me go get some food before I pass out. Just let's get down. So I remember I was going to the kitchen. I was like, oh, my mom bought me some chicken that I haven't cooked yet. Let me cook that. And I passed by. There's a trash can hanging on the little knob thing. looked in the trash can, and there was a plastic bag with a tampon shell and tissue in it. Ew!
Disgusted? I'm revolted.
Now, what I mean by shell is the applicator that's inserted when putting in a tampon. I did not see the tampon itself, so I cannot say if it was in there, if it was used. Still, you do not put... Tip number 2. Do not put sanitary stuff in the kitchen. You have a bathroom for that. Cook on this countertop. We put our food on this countertop. We eat on this countertop. Nobody wants to see that and they're about to cook. I want to figure it out and get it out the kitchen. Text Amanda and Lola first. I was like, Amanda hasn't been here for 3 days. So it definitely wasn't her because it was on top of the trash. Lola is at work and she has her own trash and that's not something Lola would do. Now I'm like, wait a minute. Brittany's here. I knock on the door. You know, a little bit. I was like, hey Brittany, and Brittany's friend was in there. I was like, yo, I don't want to invade your privacy or whatever, but there's like a tampon shell in the kitchen, in the trash can, and I just want to say, whoever did it, please get it out. And her friend was like, oh, I didn't do it, like that's not me, I'm not on right now. So I honestly believe her. And I'm like, Brittany, and Brittany doesn't say nothing to me. She just looks at me, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, but please get it out the kitchen. I just want you to know that type of stuff does not go in the kitchen. Trash cans in the bathroom. And I close the door. I go about my business. At that point, I didn't even want to eat no more. Like I had lost appetite. I text the girls back and I'm like, yo, apparently I think it was Brittany. Her friend said she didn't do it. Y'all haven't been in the house for a brick, so it has to be her. Both of them went off. I feel like that was like the last straw for them. I believe they've been going on with this path for like a long time, so new to the entire thing. And they're like, we on our way, I'm on my way. And they weren't together, but they were in close proximity of each other. So Amanda got in first and Lola came in about 2 minutes after her, and they was like, this is nasty, disgusting. And that's when Amanda knocked on the door. She was like, hey, did somebody leave a tampon in the kitchen? And then Brittany gets up and storms in the kitchen. I hate y'all. Y'all get on my nerves. You're doing too much. We just asked you to take it out of the kitchen, please. She throws it in the bathroom, and her friend is just looking at her like, Brittany says, Amanda, go back to your country. Hell broke loose. No. It was, the room was shaking. I was like, I felt offended for her. Amanda was born here in the US, but her parents were born in a country in Africa there. So she picked up her parents' accent. But you know, you could still understand her. Like, she had just completely crossed the line.
You should stop. Guys, stop it! Dig your nails in me! You guys
go back to your country. You always complaining about some shit. You don't even live here. You wasn't even born here. That's when Amanda, she snaps. Like, the walls are really thin in the building, so you can hear your neighbor 4 or 5 doors down blasting music. So you have to be kind of careful about what you do in your apartment. And you can hear the RAs running down the hallway, knocking on the door, and she dips. And the RAs are writing down, because the RAs have to report everything back to the head of residency. A few days go by and almost like she didn't even live there. So that semester I decided to take a Saturday class. I regret every minute of that class, but I wanted to get the class out the way, so I just did it. I was like, screw it, I want to take this later on in life, my accounting class. Remember, I had this gut feeling like something's about to go down. And I was like, I gotta get back to my apartment. And I told my professor, hey, I think something's going on. I didn't know if something was going on, but I was like, let me just tell her something's going on and I have to leave. She was like, cool, just leave your paper here. I'll grade it and you can get it when you return. I am gone. I flew. And something was just like, you need to run. You need to get to that apartment. I don't question my instincts. If it says you need to get your ass in that apartment, then I need to get my ass in that apartment. I don't question. I run across the street, get in the building. I hear screaming. I was like, yo, I swear to God, if this is my apartment, I'm gonna lose it. I walked down, and my apartment was all the way down the goddamn hall. It took damn near 3 minutes to get to the other side of that apartment. So I had to run. And I see my RA. She runs out the room and she's like against the wall. She's screaming. She's like, Zoe, get in here. The door locks as soon as you close it. It's automatic lock. It's for safety purposes. I am running down that hallway. I made it there just in time. She is screaming. I'm like, all right, hold on. Let me get my key out. I'm like struggling to get my key out. Like, I open the door, and through the crack of the door, I see Brittany standing over Lola in a punching position, and I just was covering her face, trying to like protect herself, and Brittany is looking down and she sees me through the crack of the door, and she's just staring at me, and I'm just like, because you know you're in trouble, right? You know you're in trouble, right? She gets off of her and she runs to her room. She's packing her shit, and the RA calls the police. Brittany grabs all of her stuff and she runs down the hallway. And Lola is shaken up. Like, she doesn't understand what happened. She's like scared, and I'm like, do you need some hug? Do you need a hug or something? Because I know that was probably scary. And the RA is over here shaking. She's like shook. I don't know what happened. I just saw her standing over her, and I was like, I hope y'all okay. I'm glad I came here. I'm glad I followed my instinct, because if I wasn't here, ain't no telling what would have happened. So the police show up and they catch Brittany. RA gives the police a description of what Brittany was wearing. So they had already knew what she looked like. They were like, we just found her downstairs trying to leave. They have her up against the wall. They're asking me questions. They're asking the RA questions. At this point, it's not only the campus police, but it's the actual police. And I'm like, honestly, I had made it up here just in time. The RA was screaming. I heard screaming in the dorm, and I just rushed up, opened the door, and I saw Brittany standing over Lola. And I don't know what happened. The RA can tell you though. The RA talking about some, I don't know who threw the first punch. I don't know what happened. I was like, I just want to add that the RA was in the room when whoever threw the first punch, and she said that she doesn't remember who did it. Obviously, Brittany was standing over Lola, so Brittany must have thrown the first punch. Like, and Brittany was all in. Hot mess. So I'm looking down the hallway and I see Brittany standing up against the wall, and the police that was standing in front of her was ready to take out those handcuffs. They were about to arrest her. They were like, we're gonna make an arrest, but before we make an arrest, I want to double check on what everybody said. So he goes around again, he asks everybody again what happened, and she got arrested. They put handcuffs on her and they had her down the hallway. She can go to jail. Weeks later, she came back to come get her stuff. Clothes in the living room, like in the middle of the floor. She had clothes in the chairs in the living room. Like, it was embarrassing to have company over. So I never really had company over unless it was a really close friend that knew me. Lola wasn't in the house at the time. I believe she was at work. So I was kind of holding down the fort. I think I had left out or something, because the RA and a police officer was there. I'll be right back. I gotta go run somewhere. I don't know if I ran to the store, if I ran to the lobby. I don't remember, but I was gone. And I come back. All of her stuff is gone, and I'm just like, well, that's over. She's gone. Amanda's happy. Lola's happy. We're all chilling. I'm like, cool. We're done. We're done. Just when we thought we were done, we're not. Me and Lola are in a room, and she's like, oh my fucking God. I was like, what happened? She was like, this bitch took a picture of my credit card. She showed me a picture, and it was a picture of her holding her hand out in the camera. You could tell it was our closet, because you could see like my shoes. You saw my coat. Same picture, same layout. So it was recent. Had her credit card on there, and it said, run this bitch shit up. I was like, girl, please tell me that credit card don't work. She was like, it doesn't. I got a new one because apparently some business took my card and like did some credit card fraud or something like that. So I'm fine. It's dead. I was like, okay, the card's dead. but your information is still online. Like, they got your first, last name, what bank you're with. So screenshotted the picture before it was deleted, because she did end up deleting it. And we ran to the campus police station and we showed it to one of the police officers. A screenshot of Brittany posting her credit card on Instagram and telling everyone to run it up. Lola sent the screenshot over to the police officer and she took that picture and put it in evidence. And she also got, I believe she got arrested again for credit card fraud and posting her information out on social media. Even though it was dead, but still, like, you just committed a crime. And she was so stupid. Oh my god, this girl was really pretty. Brittany was extremely pretty, and that's what I hated. I was like, how could you be so beautiful but so evil? The stupid thing is, Brittany had her entire Instagram up, so she could, if you clicked on her profile, you'd see all her pictures. It was directly linked to her. And I was like, if you're gonna commit credit card fraud, if you're gonna post somebody's credit card online, make sure your name and your face isn't on there.
Wait, stop the motherfucking music. You, are you dumb?
Lola went to the bank and I believe they asked more questions. They asked for more information before you can get into the account. So she put like extra security on her card, on her new card. And after that, we have never heard from her again. She completely disappeared. I saw her one time on campus. I was going to class and I saw her passing by. I think she saw me, but she didn't say anything to me. I just pray I don't have this experience again. I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic and I don't know if we're going to go back to college anytime soon, but if we do, I really hope my roommates are not like that. It's people like that that make you not want to even be in a dorm. Like, it can be very stressful. But lesson learned, hide your shit, lock it, pay attention. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I'd love if you watch it to the end because I know it was very long. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll be posting very soon. Thank you. Bye.